Greetings, I'm Bruce Corrie with One Minnesota. It's a multi-ethnic coalition, a non-partisan coalition working to create a Minnesota where there are no racial barriers to success. And over the past few weeks, we've launched the Color the Vote campaign, where we've asked the candidates for governor to look at our communities, at the potential, the political potential of our communities, over 300,000 voters, the economic contribution, the cultural contribution, and to think of our communities, the African, Latino, Asian, and Native American communities we call Alana, look at us as assets to Minnesota. We can help propel the nation, the state, to be one of the best places to live and work. With our connections and with our global networks, we can make this possible. So we sent out a questionnaire to Mark Dayton and Tom Horner and Tom Emmer before the primaries. We heard back from Dayton and Horner, and they supported a lot of what our agenda was. We wanted to talk to them a little bit more and engage them in a gubernatorial debate, but we could not get them to the table. But today we've had to continue the conversation with Tom Horner's policy director, and we brought to him this message of the community. We have a number of issues that we'd like to bring to the notice of the new governor of Minnesota. First, adopt this new vision of our Alana communities as assets, and use our assets and our talents to grow Minnesota. Include us in all aspects of your administration, and help this new vision of us as assets to integrate into your policies and programs of the state. We have a number of areas that our communities are going to bring, from business development, encouraging our businesses that are revitalizing Minnesota, both at the low end and the high end. Invest in human capital, in education and STEM education and science and technology education. Make our young people the smartest, the brightest, the best in the nation. We ask you to look at our infrastructure and make sure that the infrastructure in Minnesota is the best possible for technology and bio-business and all these new areas that are going to change the landscape of Minnesota. We have a number of people with science and technology degrees that can work effectively with your administration to make this state very competitive. We are interested in efforts to look at the needs of the communities and bring resources to the needs, whether it is people who are in the healthcare system, where we need culturally competent healthcare as well as affordable healthcare, affordable housing, accessible housing facilities. We need to have people not criminalized through the criminal justice system. We need to look at the issues of our communities as they go through the system to be treated with respect. We need to look at immigrants to this country and to the state with create a culture of friendliness and openness and use their talents, because they are a reminder and a contributor to the growth of not only the state but also to the nation. So you'll be hearing a lot of other policy prescriptions by members of our community, and I hope that you would have at the earliest a time to come and meet with us here at the Global Marketplace, where we can share with you some more concepts and ideas that have come through us from our communities. Thank you.
Mr. Governor, hi, my name is Brett Buckner. I am with this illustrious group called Color the Vote. My hope is that we increase education's funding as quickly as possible. That is the investment that is going to spur the growth of our society, and with your help, we can make a lot of things happen. We have 300,000 voters. We hope that that will be listened to in the upcoming legislative session. We vote, we win, but we need your help. Thank you.
My name is Al Paulson, and I have a business called Marketplace Productions. I'm enrolled in the White Earth Band of Minnesota Chippewa, former chairman of the Minnesota American Indian Chamber of Commerce, and co-founder of the National Indian Business Association, representing Indian businesses throughout the United States. First of all, I want to congratulate the governor and the legislature for their win and victories. The people have spoken. Now the hard work begins. It's important that you all consider what is important to Minnesota business, small business, and minority businesses, because we want to make Minnesota a state friendly for small business and business startups of all types. That means lower taxes. It means easing the whole area of procedures and all the licensing that's there. So make that a little easier for small businesses to get started, and to adapt a slogan possibly of small business is big business in Minnesota.
Okay. I'm Lea Hargett. I'm the president of the Minnesota Black Chamber of Commerce and business owner here in the state of Minnesota. I am concerned, or what I'd like to talk to the governor about is that according to the 2002 report by the Minnesota State Affirmative Action Association, Minnesota state agencies barely employ more minorities than they did in 1997. And a number of departments are showing a decline despite the steady growth of populations of color statewide. I'd like to ask the next governor to ensure appropriate representation of diverse populations within your cabinet, in top-level administrative positions, and among the ranks of state employees, and also to work to increase the number of minority-owned businesses created and sustained in the state of Minnesota.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, my name is Mohamed Hassan with Malaysian News. I'm a part-time journalist, but I also work for the government. And Mr. Governor, I'd like to ask that you pay a visit to the new Americans to encourage to further contribute to the well-being of this state, and to show that the administration is also working for them. In addition, I'd like your administration to be reflective of the state citizens and constituents. Thank you.
My name is Jabril Hashi, and I'm representing Safari Express. We're located at the Midtown Global Market here at the old Sears building. And I'm also a student. My particular goal and what I wanted to reach out to the governor, or our new governor, is to get active in getting our youth, not only our minority youth, but our youth in general, interested in technology, and also in technology entrepreneurship, and knowing where the future is headed. That the future is specifically going to be headed towards more technology, more tools are being built to move markets and disrupt other markets. So getting our youth here in the Twin Cities interested in getting funding for them to get educated or have the means to learn about tech entrepreneurship, and also setting up incubators in this city, getting the right people with the right technology background to teach these kids about programming, the basics, and just getting us on par with other places in the United States, like Northern California, where it is the largest hub of tech entrepreneurship in the whole world. So why not Minneapolis? So basically, my idea is just to have the kids that are going to change the world is the next generation. So get them interested in technology, get them to learn how to code, and just set up programs for them, after-school programs, what have you, that teach them these skills.
Hi, this message is for the next governor of Minnesota. My name is Mario Hernandez. I'm a St. Paul resident and a mid-term resident of Minnesota. My message for the next governor is that I want you to carry two values with you in this upcoming administration. The first value is to include community of color members in the policy making that you do. The community is definitely growing, and the census numbers from 2010 will show that the communities of color collectively are now a sizable portion of Minnesota and one of the leading keys to the growth of the population here in Minnesota. Secondly, the other value that I wish you take with you is that as you're having your administration design policy initiatives for the future, ask yourself the question of how does this proposal affect communities of color here in Minnesota? That's a question that you should be asking yourself just as much as you ask, how does this proposal affect seniors? How does this proposal affect rural Minnesota? I think those two values are valuable and something that your administration could definitely garner more support from communities of color.
My name is Anthony Carranza. I'm a freelance news collaborator with the LCN Communications, and also work as a freelancer for Examiner.com. Essentially what I'm looking for you, Governor, is to recognize the communities of color that are vastly growing in the state, push forward policy that favors the communities, also begin to adopt more of a slogan that actually acknowledges that we have not a minority population but a growing majority soon enough within the next generation too. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Steve Nwoke. I represent the Minneapolis Urban League of Young Professionals as the secretary. And what I would want our next governor to do is to support provide new incentives to support thriving and new businesses in the state of Minnesota. And I feel it's important for everyone to vote because the next 96 hours will determine the next 10 to 30 years of your life. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much.
I am Gelgelu, Oromo American. I live in St. Paul and work in St. Paul. I am interested in this election because we need a governor that support businesses in our communities. We need a governor that support job in our communities.
My name is Lester Collins. I'm the director of the State Council of Black Minnesotans, a legislatively mandated body that's charged with advising the governor and the legislature on issues affecting African and African-American people in the state of Minnesota. My message to the new governor, and more so my offering of our assistance, is that those councils be utilized, especially in these very challenging times. We are in advisory capacity to you. I would suggest that you use us. We are available. I think with some of the challenges, but even more so the opportunities within our communities, we can make a difference to your administration, to the betterment of Minnesota, and we offer that assistance. We do so gladly. Congratulations to you, by the way. I also would suggest that the councils, at least I've been here for about 22 years, every 2 years, 4 years or so, the whole question comes up of our validity, our continued existence. I think that it's very important, again, given the challenges in our community, or even more importantly, the opportunities and the strengths, the talents, the gifts, the resources that we bring. I think it's very crucial and important that we be around, that we be a part of the answer, the solution to a very challenging present and even more so a future. But I think it's important that we be funded. I think it's an investment well worth the money, the dollars, and to that extent, I think that we are very valid, and we are an instrument that you can use and can be utilized to, again, better the state of Minnesota.
Great. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Trying to figure out what the closing is. 2010 election is the most critical election for our society in quite some time. We understand what's at stake. The direction of our politics for the next 4 and actually 10 years with the whole redistricting activity. This election greatly affects communities of color. Over 300,000 voters, that represents 800,000 residents of the state of Minnesota. This is a marvelous time for the governor, whoever he will be, to really step up and show that all of us actually are Minnesotans, that we all matter. We hope that we can develop a partnership with them. We hope that we can actually start to build a stronger Minnesota. We absolutely believe that this is the critical time for us to start building these bridges. With our activities, we can pull it together.